And we are on 2.03 Lab 3, Save Files. You'll open and save your 3D modeling work. Use the open command to open a file. Use this save as command to save a file. The file navigation screen. The open command in Blender takes you to the file navigation screen. Here you can see the files and folders on your computer. At the top of the file navigation screen, you'll see the current folder in the directory field. The current folder is the folder you are in right now. The white items in the list are folders that are inside the current folder. Clicking one will take you to that folder. Open a file.
In this screen, I am going to show you how to open a file. Close Blender by clicking the X in the top right corner. On the Start menu, left-click All Programs, left-click Blender.
Hold on, she's getting way too complicated. You should have a little shortcut somewhere that you can double-click to open it up, or you can just type in the first few letters and open up Blender that way.
On the File menu, left-click Open. Left-click the C drive, then locate your user.
If you remember during the orientation, I told you to save it on a D drive. I don't save anything on my C drive. I save everything to my D drive. So all my stuff is in my D drive. I've got a 3D modeling folder. It's 2017-18 Block 2. That's where I just organize everything that way because I teach a ton of classes and I've got to keep it organized really nicely. But here are my Blender resources actually. Okay, so now you can see my Suzanne blend in there. So just because she says go to Windows C doesn't mean that's where your files are. She's just trained to be helpful and thinking that you probably saved yours in there, but not necessarily. You could have saved them somewhere else. It looks like there might be a little plus here that you might be able to do a search down here, but hopefully you're just using that D drive if you have a school computer.
And then the 3D Modeling Resources folder. Left-click Suzanne.
We don't have this many files in our resource folder, right? But it's easy to find Suzanne, right? She is right there. And like I was saying in the last video, I like to open up Suzanne Blend and then I very quickly save her as something else so I don't ruin my original Suzanne. I've got a little Suzanne Blend down there and then I check to make sure that the name is what I've saved it as before I start doing my work. Saving files, it's important to save your Blender file as you make changes. Saving your file keeps you from losing your work if your computer crashes or you make a major mistake. When you close Blender, it won't ask you if you want to save. That's good to know. Always save your work before closing Blender. The save command. One way to save a Blender file is the save command. The save command overwrites the older version of the file with any new changes that you've made. You don't want to do that to your original Suzanne file. You want to keep that just in case you mess up and you have to start over. You'll use save after you've made a minor change that you're happy with. The save as command, the second way to save a Blender file is the save as command. The save as command saves your current project as a new file with a new name. That means the older version of your file will still be around in case you need it later. You'll use save as whenever you think you might want to keep a copy of your old file while continuing to work on the new version of your file. Like I said, every day that you come in and make changes to your work, instantly save it as something else so that you don't lose any old work that you've done. Save your own copy. We'll watch this video.
In this screen, I am going to show you how to save your own copy. On the File menu, click Save As. Make sure you are saving in the right folder. The file path should be C username 3D modeling resource.
Once again, ignore all that. Save it where you always save it, okay?
Type your new name for the file. We chose Suzanne_2. You do not need to type .blend. Blender will add that file extension for you. Left-click Save As.
This is what it looks like when I do it. File, Save As, and notice there's a little Save As Blender right here. So I just make whatever changes. So I was working on this earlier. It is now about 1:16. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to Suzanne 11/5 for November 5th at 1:16 p.m. And I'm going to save as a Blender file over on the right. Okay, so that's it for this lab.